Yo, what it do? We are back with another video, and today we are celebrating our 200 subscribers. I've been doing the channel for almost 3 years now, and the goal currently is to just get 100 new subscribers every year. And I mean, we're past the 2-year mark, but we did finally get to 200 subscribers. So I want to thank you all so much for doing that and being a part of this. It's only going up from here. But since we did hit 200 subscribers this past Sunday, today we are going to be doing a fun video and kind of like a story time video, but not really like a story video. But I'm going to be telling y'all the reasons why my favorite professional sports teams are my professional sports teams. So if you don't know, I am a Packers fan, an Angels fan, a Blazers fan, a Capitals fan, and a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Those are my favorite professional sports teams. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is we're going to be taking a deep dive into why I'm a fan of those teams, starting with the one that, or I guess we're gonna go from which ones are most important to me and least important to me. We're going to be starting with the ones that are least important and a little bit newer, like I'm more of a new fan of the team, or the story isn't as interesting. Basically, the video is going to get better as we go on, and the stories are going to get much more interesting. But without further ado, let's go on ahead and get into this video. So the first team that we're going to be talking about today is the Tottenham Hotspur. I have been a Tottenham Hotspur fan probably since I was about, I would have to say 17 years old, when I was a junior in high school. That's when I really started to become a Tottenham Hotspur fan. My stepdad, Mike, and his son Nolan are both big Tottenham fans. Now, whenever it comes to sports, I don't tend to agree with them on many things. Nolan's a Dodgers fan and I'm an Angels fan, so there's the rivalry there. Mike's a Cowboys fan, I'm a Packers fan. They're not really that into basketball, but I wanted to find something that I can really agree with them on, just for fun, and I didn't really have a favorite soccer team. So they introduced me into the Tottenham Hotspur, and actually it was first through Harry Kane. So we were watching a world, it was an international soccer game, or not international, it was international play. It was England versus some other team, and every time Harry Kane literally showed up on the screen, my stepdad Mike would say, "I love Harry Kane," I guess, and he would make it sound kind of like that song by Cypress Hill, or I think that's how you say it, Cypress Hill, where they would say, "I love Mary Jane," but we would say, "I love you, Harry Kane." And so I really started to like him. So I got into his career. He played for Tottenham. So then I became a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I think it was my senior year, or actually no, it was my sophomore year when I began to like Tottenham. It was my junior year that the Tottenham Hotspur went to the Champions League final. And unfortunately, they were beat by Liverpool. But this is a picture of all of us celebrating that day that we got to watch Tottenham play in the final. But yeah, so Tottenham is my favorite soccer team. English Premier League is my favorite league. I'm still trying to do a little bit more research on the league and learn a little bit about it. So my soccer knowledge is not all the way there yet, but I do love Tottenham. I love Harry Kane, even though there are some rumors that he won't be on Tottenham for very long. So I'm hoping to have a guest on eventually to talk a little bit about Harry Kane and if he's going to be returning to the Spurs. But like I said, that's my first team, Premier League soccer, Tottenham Hotspur. My favorite teams is actually my favorite NHL team. It is the Washington Capitals. You might have seen this jersey before. Actually, my first ever YouTube video I ever made was in this Alex Ovechkin Washington Capitals jersey. The story for this jersey is not really exciting, not really a fun story to tell. But basically, I started to get into hockey when I was about 8th grade. In the beginning of my 8th grade year, I really started to like watching hockey a little bit, but I didn't have a favorite team. The first game I ever watched was actually an overtime game that the Rangers won. I'm not 100% sure who they played in that one, but that was the first game that I ever watched. So I figured that I was going to end up being a Rangers fan. Well, I didn't end up really getting into that team that much, but on my way, I guess whenever my 8th grade year ended, going into high school, the 8th grade class took a trip to Washington, D.C. On that trip to Washington, D.C., this was around Stanley Cup time, and the Washington Capitals weren't in it at all. But I did see a lot of people wearing Washington Capitals gear. I saw it all over the airport, tons of Washington Capitals stuff. So that's really where I started to kind of get a love for that team. Not to mention our tour guide whenever we were in Washington, D.C. His name is Christian. Christian, I hope you're watching this video. I hope that you're a supporter of the channel. He was a Capitals fan, so I had to become a fan for that reason too. But not really that knowledgeable in hockey either. I've got a friend from work named Blake. He is teaching me a lot about hockey. I'm learning so much from him, trying to get my hockey knowledge up with my other sports. But yeah, my favorite player is Alexander Ovechkin. I think he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. Like I said, my knowledge isn't all the way up there, and I'm a little bit biased. But I do remember being a fan from obviously the end of my 8th grade year, so about freshman year to now. That's how long I've been a fan, and they actually won the title, the Stanley Cup, the year after I became a fan. So I was a fan for 1 year, and then they won the final in my 2nd year as a fan. So that was exciting to see. I actually cried whenever we won the Stanley Cup. That was easily one of my favorite sports moments that I've ever got to experience. But I've been a fan ever since. Playoff hockey is starting soon. Hopefully I can come back at y'all whenever the Stanley Cup final win is over, wearing my Capitals jersey, saying that we won our 2nd title in my lifetime. But that is the reason I am a Capitals fan. Hopefully we can get another title soon. So my next favorite team that I'm going to be talking about today is my favorite NBA team, the Portland Trailblazers out of Portland, Oregon. So this story and my next story are going to have a lot in common. So my biological dad, Coy, he actually moved to Oregon when I was 9 years old, and I've been a huge Ducks fan ever since. Now, growing up, obviously, in Texas, I did support the Mavs for a very long time, but being that all my other favorite teams aren't really from Texas, I didn't want my NBA team to be from Texas. So I began to like the Portland Trailblazers because that was the team that was closest to where my dad lived. And the first time that he came back to see me from living in Oregon, he actually brought me a Brendan Roy jersey that you can see me as a kid wearing in this picture right here. So I've been a Portland Trailblazers fan ever since. Now, unfortunately, I have never seen our team win the title. The last time we won was in like the 70s, and the last time we were there was in, I think, not even the 2000s. They were beat by Kobe and Shaq in the Western Conference Finals in the 2000s, but in the 90s against Michael Jordan. But we have seen some success. Damian Lillard obviously is an absolute stud. Carmelo Anthony's on the team right now. No, this is not a Carmelo Anthony jersey. It's a custom. It has my last name on it with the number that I wore when I played basketball. But Brendan Roy was my favorite player ever for the Trailblazers. I love him so much as a player. I love Damian Lillard, obviously, too. I think that he's doing so well for the franchise. Not to mention the fact that we have such a high ceiling, and with the way that the playoffs look this year, I think that the Portland Trailblazers have a really good shot at going all the way, especially since we've gotten hot as of recently. That might be a little bit of my bias talking, but hopefully a lot of Trailblazers fans are in here watching this video from Twitter, because I'm going to obviously post the video on Twitter as well. But that is the reason I'm a Trailblazers fan. Not that exciting of a story, but a pretty good, pretty wholesome story if you ask me. But yeah, those are the reasons that I am a Portland Trailblazers fan. The last team that we're going to be talking about today is my favorite baseball team, if you can't already tell, the Los Angeles Angels, of Anaheim. So if you haven't already yet, in my last video, if you haven't watched it yet, in my last video, when talking about Albert Pujols and his legacy, I did mention that he is the reason that I am an Angels fan. So if you've already seen that video, you probably know a little bit on why the Angels are my favorite team. But I do want to take a deeper dive into the story on why I became an Angels fan, because it's one of my favorite stories. So my dad, Kevin, went on a business trip to St. Louis, Missouri when I was around, probably like 7 or 8 years old. More like 9 years old, actually, because it was 2010. So probably 8 or 9, like I said. He went to St. Louis, Missouri on a business trip, and I guess once they were done doing whatever business that they were doing. They went to a St. Louis Cardinals game at Busch Stadium, and my dad brought home a Albert Pujols t-shirt jersey that you can see me wearing in this picture right here, him doing the bunny ears at the cabin trip or whatever. I think that he's wearing a camping trip. I think he's wearing a Texas Rangers jersey shirt. So we were kind of matching or whatever. So that was the moment that I became a Cardinals fan first, actually. In that shirt jersey was an Albert Pujols jersey. So instantly, before anything, I was an Albert Pujols fan, not a Cardinals fan. So I did get to see the Cardinals win the 2011 World Series against the Texas Rangers. I was so excited. I consider that seeing my favorite baseball team win a title. But that summer, or I guess not that summer, that offseason after that summer, he decided to join the Los Angeles Angels. That's when I became an Angels fan. Ever since then, it's been a rocky relationship, a love-hate relationship, because the Angels have been so subpar. But I am an Albert Pujols fan and an Angels fan. Now that he is off of the team, he has been released. I'm still an Angels fan. I'm holding on to that franchise as opposed to either going back to the Cardinals or going to where Albert Pujols could be next. This jersey right here is a Mike Trout jersey. Currently my favorite player on the Angels now, since Albert is no longer on the team. But that is the reason I'm an Angels fan. Right now we are doing pretty decent, better than we were last year, better than we have been in the past. But hopefully the Angels can turn the franchise around and win a championship in my lifetime. The last time they did win was in 2002, so I was alive, but I was 2 years old. So, or I guess 1 year old. So I guess that doesn't really count as getting to see my team win a title, but hopefully it will happen soon. So what we're going to be talking about in this video today is, without a doubt, no doubt, 1,000,000% my favorite sports team that I've ever had in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, my favorite NFL team is the Green Bay Packers. A lot of you probably know me as a Green Bay Packer fan more than anything. This is kind of a fun story, not really, but I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So, like I said a million times throughout this video, growing up, living in Texas, Cowboys fan, right? Somewhat of a Cowboys fan. When I was about first grade, so 6 or 7, I believe is whenever you're, about 7 years old, I had a friend who was on my football team. His name was Ubaldo. Ubaldo, if you're watching this, shout out to you, man. You're literally the reason I'm a Packer fan. His dad was a Packer fan, so obviously he was a Packer fan. Well, he was my best friend, from first grade. And the whole time we were friends, he was introducing me to the Green Bay Packers. He was introducing me to Brett Favre and the green and gold, the whole thing, right? So instantly, I wanted to do my research. As a kid, I wanted to do my research. So I went to the library. I got every NFL book. I got every Packers book. I did what I had to do. I became a big-time Packers fan. Probably from about first grade to second grade, the only player I really knew was Brett Favre, obviously the quarterback. And so he became my favorite player. I wore number 4 throughout my entire football career. From second grade all the way to my sophomore year, I was number 4. And then when I got to varsity, I had to change my number to 9, which is why I have a number 9 custom Hargrave Packers jersey here. But and I'm going to be showing, obviously, a bunch of pictures, a bunch of slides of me as a Packer fan growing up. But it's been a great relationship, me and the Packers. I did see us win the Super Bowl in 2011 against the Steelers. I actually am such a big Packers fan. I have every single, I'm going to cover up my stomach here, but I have every single Super Bowl that the Packers have won tattooed right here on my ribs, because that's how big of a fan I am. I absolutely love the Packers. Right now, we have a little bit of a beef with Aaron Rodgers that I'm not really loving. And this past year, when he won MVP and we didn't go to the Super Bowl when I feel like we should have, that really hurt, because that's just how big of a Packers fan that I am. Ask anyone I know. I love the green and gold probably more than I love 90% of the humans that I've met in my life. But this is easily my favorite team. Shout out to Ubaldo for putting me on. I have 4 Packers jerseys. I've got a Favre jersey. That was my first ever sports jersey. Doesn't fit me. My Rodgers jersey doesn't fit me. I've got a Bart Starr jersey that you've probably seen me wear. And then obviously I've got my custom Hargrave jersey. Although Brett Favre has been a lot controversial these past few years, he's still probably my hero, my favorite football player that I've ever seen play. But I'm so glad that I am a Packers fan. The franchise, like I said, means more to me than anything else. But that is going to end up doing it for this video today. If you're surprised by any of my teams, let me know down in the comment section. If you share any of these with me, let me know in the comment section as well. Thank you all again for the 200 subscribers. I appreciate that so much. I love you all. I appreciate it so much. Once we get to 300 subscribers, hopefully by December, that's the goal that we're reaching for right now, 300 subscribers by December. I'll be doing why my favorite college teams are my favorite college teams. If you like this video, please leave a like, please subscribe. Follow me on all platforms that have been up here for a few seconds. My Instagram at MikeHillSports_YouTube, my Twitter at MikeHillSports. My Snapchat is WinTheDay_4. If you just Snapchat me and say any of these teams, then I will make sure to follow you back. Follow me on my personal accounts, MY9KEL on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I hope you all have an amazing day. The weekly roundup coming up on Sunday, actually. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'm out of here. Peace.